Our next guest is a woman who has turned tragedy into triumph. Katrina Brownlee was a young pregnant mother who suffered for years at the hands of her abusive prison guard boyfriend. Even though she would call the police during his violent rages, she feels her complaints were swept under the rug because her boyfriend carried a badge. Eventually, Katrina's abuser shot her 10 times. Miraculously, she survived, but her unborn child did not. But instead of being consumed by her struggle and heartache, Katrina decided to earn her own police badge. Welcome retired NYPD officer Katrina Brownlee.
Katrina, welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you for being on the show.
We are so honored to have you here.
Truly. Now,
Thank you.
I just want you to take us back to when you were a 22-year-old mom stuck in an abusive relationship. Describe the kind of abuse that you endured.
It started out with verbal abuse. It started out with the pushing, the shoving, the black eyes, the busted lips, and then ultimately 10 shots.
Now, you recently told the New York Times, Katrina, that you called the police on several occasions, but they never charged them with domestic violence. Do you think it was because they didn't want to arrest a fellow officer?
Absolutely. It's the blue wall of silence. That badge is loyalty. You don't go against it. They didn't know if he was either a correction officer or court officer. He showed the shield and they told me to work it out. Sometimes they didn't even say anything.
The blue wall of silence.
Wow.
Wow.
Tell us what happened the day he shot you.
I was coming back to pick up some clothes for the younger children. And when I walked in the door, he had like a very strange look on his face. And I went to place the younger daughter into her room. My oldest daughter was having a play date. And when I came out the room, he pointed a gun at me. He shot me in my stomach. And told me that this was the day that you're gonna die, bitch. And he shot me again in the stomach. He shot me again in the stomach. And he just kept shooting.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Those are the first things he said? There was no conversation before, just straight up looked at you and...
No, abusers don't do that.
And you were pregnant at the time, Katrina.
Yes, I was.
How long did it take for you to recover from 10 gunshot wounds?
Physically, it took me almost a year. Mentally and emotionally, years. Years. But God is the greatest power. And throughout that, I was able to heal within myself and then able to forgive him for what he's done so that I can take back my power that he has stripped me from for so many years.
Absolutely.
Wow. So he was he arrested?
He was arrested when he shot me, but he was never arrested for any of the abuse that he had given me.
So basically, it took all of this to almost killing you to finally realizing that he should have been arrested.
And he always would say, I'm only going to get 5 to 15. And sure enough, he got 5 to 15 years. He did 10 years, the maximum time that he could do. And so justice wasn't served.
No.
Oh.
Wow. So let's go back. At this point, he's finally in jail. And when you left the hospital, you went back to live with his mother in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn?
Yes, I had to go back there.
Yeah,
Why?
Why?
Because I had no place else to go. That's why I stayed with him as long as I did. People have no idea that most of the time that women stay in abusive relationships out of fear, lack of support, or no place else to turn. I called the cops. They never arrested him. I had no other support. Where else was I going to go? And the only reason why I wasn't in his mother's house anymore is because she kicked me out because I didn't sign a letter stating that I had shot myself 10 times.
What?
Wait, okay. Explain this. So now you are living in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn with the mother of the man that nearly killed you. And then
She
you're
wasn't
staying
living
in
in
his
the house.
home. And what does she tell you?
She wasn't living in the house anymore. She had moved away, but she still had the home.
Okay.
So I didn't have any place to go. I was paralyzed from my waist down. So they had to make the home into like a hospital
Yeah.
room. So when I was there, for a little bit of time, she didn't really bother me. She was sending people to be nice. She didn't come to see me, but she was sending other people like to get back, to give her information to what was going on. And then she came with a letter. She didn't give it to me. She gave it to someone in his family to give to me, stating that I had shot myself 10 times. And I
Oh
said,
my
absolutely,
gosh.
I'm not going to sign it. If I got to live in the street, then that's what it is. And then that's when I really became homeless.
So while he was serving his prison sentence, you decided to pursue a career in law enforcement and ended up serving with the NYPD for 20 years. Katrina, after all this, why did you want to be a cop?
I wanted to be a good cop.
Ah,
I hear that.
that's it right there. Wow.
Wow.
I had to have a voice for all the cops that are good, because we need cops, and I had to do it. It was my duty to do that.
Wow.
Because I had been neglected by the police department for so many years.
Wow.
Wow. You are now retired from the force, and you've actually written a memoir, like you just mentioned. Tell us about it.
The book is the book is actually about my life from actual birth to the end. That's why it's called "And Then Came the Blues." It's my life with the blues, and then my NYPD life, which is the blues. So it's to inspire and empower and educate people all over the world, not just women. I'm talking about men. I'm talking about children. I'm talking about boys. Because when you commit a crime to someone, that doesn't just affect you. It affects everybody
Yep.
That's right.
that's in your life.
Yeah.
Well, Katrina,
And it had, yes, ma'am.
Katrina, what's the name of your book again?
And Then Came the Blues.
And we want everybody to pick up your book.
Yeah.
You have a wonderful story, and thank you for sharing it with us today. We wish you all the best, Katrina, seriously.
Thank you. And can I just say one more thing?
Yes,
Please.
ma'am.
I would like to say to all the women that are in a domestic violence situation that there's hope, and that you can get out.
Yeah.
And if you got to leave with nothing, with no clothes like I did, not $1 in your pocket, leave. Please, I'm begging you, leave.
Thank you, Katrina.